Hi, I'm Sybil Stewart with Tennessee Home and Farm Magazine. I'm here in the kitchen today with Kristen Winston. Kristen is a caterer who provides the recipes and prepares the dishes that you see in each issue of Tennessee Home and Farm. Today, she's going to show us how to prepare herb roasted vegetables, which sounds like a simple dish, but Kristen's going to give us a couple of tips that will guarantee a perfect side dish every time.
Today we are going to roast mushrooms, butternut squash, new potatoes, and baby carrots. Okay. And these are fairly simple to cut up, but butternut squash can be a little intimidating, so I'm going to show you how to cut that.
Okay.
First thing I do is, of course, wash the squash. And now I'm going to start by cutting off the bottom, and then flip it over and cut off the top. And make sure your knives are sharp, because dull knives are a lot more dangerous than a sharp knife. This skin is pretty hard to cut into. It's almost like a pumpkin.
It is. It's very tough. I've never cooked butternut squash, so I'm very interested to see how to do this.
I think a lot of people don't because it can be intimidating, but it's just absolutely delicious. So basically, you're going to cut off the top and bottom, and I'm going to peel it just like a carrot. And it's hard to get into it at first, but you just kind of have to...
Just any kind of vegetable peeler?
Any kind of vegetable peeler. Getting that nice color down here. That's where you want to be, all the way around. All right.
I'm going to step back just a little bit while you've got that knife.
It is. It's hard to cut, but just do it slowly and carefully. All right. You see these little seeds?
Oh, yeah.
You just want to scoop it out. And basically you're just wanting to get about 1 by 1 inch pieces.
Okay.
Just like that. So do you want to finish cutting the squash while I start cutting the potatoes?
I'm willing to try.
All right.
So now we've got all the vegetables cut up and we're ready to go to the next step. So tell me what we've got here and what you're going to do next.
Okay. These are baby carrots, and this is just simply a 1 pound bag of store-bought baby carrots. No prep necessary. These are mushrooms, and here I have a mixture of just white button mushrooms, and these are baby portobello mushrooms. And I think a mixture is nice. The baby portobellos just have kind of a meatier flavor, and they roast really nicely. And these are red potatoes, and red potatoes are a really nice choice for roasting because they have a low starch content and a high moisture content, so they tend to hold their shape at a high temperature for a longer period of time. So now we are going to
something new.
Now we are going to season these before we put them in the oven, and I just use about 2 tablespoons of olive oil and about half a teaspoon of kosher salt. And you can use table salt. I just like kosher salt because it's easier to control the larger granules.
It's not any different in flavor or anything than regular table salt?
No, it's the same. And in these small quantities, it's pretty much the same teaspoon for teaspoon. When you get into larger quantities, you need to adjust the amount of kosher salt.
Okay.
This is just table ground pepper.
And about how much?
About a 1/4 teaspoon.
Okay.
And then we have about a 1/4 teaspoon of ground dried thyme.
Dried thyme?
Yes.
And you just buy this off the shelf? This is not anything special? You just get it right
in the
off?
jar in the spice aisle. And I just put in about a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder.
Okay.
I'm just going to toss these so they're evenly coated with the olive oil and all the seasonings. And Sybil, if you will hand me a baking sheet.
Okay. Got that right here, ready to go.
They're ready to go.
You don't spray this with anything or put any kind of...
No.
Because the oil and
I think there's plenty of oil.
Will keep it from sticking?
Yes.
Okay.
And what I like to do is turn the potatoes so the white part is on the baking sheet, and that just creates a really nice brown surface on the potatoes. And we have our oven preheated to 425.
Okay.
So we'll go ahead and put them in the oven. And these are going to cook for about 45 to 50 minutes. And I, after about 20 minutes, like to turn them so that all the surfaces get browned.
Okay, so then just set the timer for 20
minutes, and then toss them and put them in for another 25 minutes, 25 to 30 minutes.
So now we're going to season the mushrooms, and are you going to use exactly the same things?
For this recipe, I'm going to use the same kosher salt, thyme, coarse pepper, and garlic powder, but you could use any combination of seasonings, of course with the salt and pepper, but you could use other herbs. You could leave out the garlic powder. Any combination will work.
Okay.
But I'm going to...
This seems like a good one, a good combination.
Yes, thyme and mushrooms go very well together. I'm just going to coat these with some olive oil. Add my salt, pepper, thyme, and garlic powder.
So you'll do each one of these the same way. And the key is the cooking time, right, for each of these?
With roasted vegetables, the key is the cooking time. It would be a lot easier to throw them on the same baking sheet, but you might come up with crunchy potatoes, mushy carrots, and this way, cooking them separately, everything is roasted to perfection. The potatoes roast quite a bit longer than the carrots and the mushrooms, and the squash is just there in between.
And all of this is in the recipe, the cooking time specifically for each of the vegetables?
Yes.
Great.
Okay, the last to come out are the potatoes. And as you can see, I have a big oven and a lot of baking sheets. But if you don't have the space or this much equipment, you can certainly roast the potatoes and the squash first and then let them sit. They'll hold fine, and then roast your carrots and mushrooms if you're going to prepare these all for the same meal. See how that nice brown surface on the potatoes? Butternut squash, the same. You just look for kind of a browned exterior, and they'll be soft on the inside. The carrots, the same thing. You just look for a brown exterior and see how they look a little bit shriveled. That is normal. They're supposed to look like that. And they're going to be sweet and soft on the inside.
Right.
And then the mushrooms, see how they kind of have a dark brown color? And they've shrunk a lot, but that's exactly what they're supposed to look like.
Well, great. Let's dish it up and eat. Well, here's the finished dish, and it just looks fabulous.
And the great thing about this dish is it's easy enough for a weeknight dinner or elegant enough for entertaining friends.
And it's just perfect. Thank you, Kristen, for showing us how to make this dish, and we look forward to seeing your next recipe in Tennessee Home and Farm magazine.
Thank you.